Hey everyone, hoi allemaal. So today I'm going to show you my bulb planting process. The first step for me in bulb planting is always sorting and dividing. I buy a lot of bulbs, but I do not always know where they are going to be planted. And they all need planting since they are sprouting already. Lots of bulbs to choose from and trying to think of all the places where bulbs can be planted. All sorted and ready for planting. Let's hope they all fit where I want them to fit. And if not, I hope I have room somewhere else in the garden. The first option for planting bulbs is in pots, like these are going to be. The supplies needed are simple, just some hand tools for digging, a shovel in this case, a kneeling pad. I also use some fertilizer, and now just a matter of selecting what pots will get what bulbs. Just to show you the planting, it is just a matter of digging a hole deep enough. For the depth, I just read the packet instructions and usually ignore the spacing, especially in pots. I also had an empty bucket with me just to put the dug up soil into, just to reduce the mess making potential. The shovel that I used had measurements on them, so I used that to check the depth of the hole. And always remember, pointy side up, flat side down. And these are some daffodil bulbs. Just place the bulbs in the hole after adding the fertilizer, and then it's just a matter of covering the hole up again and moving on to the next hole to dig. And I dig on. So not all the pots have bulbs in them. Some are too wet because of drainage issues. Some pots were too full to dig such large holes for daffodil bulbs. And other pots I use as for annual plantings, and I do not want to add bulbs into those. The next addition to the bulb planting, besides the organic fertilizer, is some lava grit that adds specific minerals to the soil but also aerates clay soil. In the containers, I'm not too worried about drainage, mostly. This time I chose not to add it in, but I could have. It depends. But in the ground, I always add organic fertilizer and lava grit to every hole that is dug. This area is relatively new and was installed to hide the heat pump, that big white blob over there. The newest addition to the bulb planting attributes now is an auger. I use it in areas that are newly planted and not too dense, but it's also a handy tool to have in larger scale areas. The previous areas and containers are too small and not a lot of wiggle room to use an auger, I personally find, but it is a handy tool to have. The rest is still the same. And we also found a lost shrub that could use some planting out, so we added that into the mix. The bulb selection this time is mostly daffodils, and I just love daffodils. What else is new? And the sweep here is getting all bulbs since these are all currently bulbless. Let's first add in this shrub. I have no idea what it is and I have still not looked it up. And then get the mighty tool out to dig some holes with a lot of ease. The mighty tool in this case is the auger, but it can vary from time to time. When we are done digging with the auger, I always say we have created a moon landscape with all the holes and ground everywhere. It looks very frazzled, but with purpose, since all these holes will hold lots of joy for springtime. After the holes are dug, they all get a dose of fertilizer and lava grit. Then the bulbs get divided over the holes, and then we close up the holes. The newest addition to the tool selection when planting bulbs is a pruning shear. In this case, because the area I wanted to plant bulbs in is full of salvia, but since they're all flopping over, I do not want to get my auger jumbled up with all the salvia branches. So I wanted to cut them back to make the area more visible where bulbs could be added. It was just to make my life easier. So step 1 in this area was to cut back all the salvia branches. I will not do this every year in autumn, probably in spring most of the time, just so the plants will have some protection against the cold, but it also makes it look so empty without all the plants. And the other benefit is to have a lot of protection also for the insects that can hide here. Good and bad, of course, but I'm mostly rooting for the good guys. All cleared out and ready for planting. I left some branches out for insects to find cover, but also other creatures that live in the garden. A natural place since I removed a lot of hiding spots by cutting back the salvia. And then I looked around and saw this sky. Not very promising to keep dry weather, so I felt like the race was on. I started adding the bulbs in front of the butterfly bush, but this was not caught on camera. And it will be a beautiful swoop of daffodils if they all take and come up and show their beautiful flowers. I stopped just before the hose came out of the wall. That was the border of bulbs that were planted from previous years, and I thought it was further away, but oh well. I also won the race against the clouds. Yay! The last edition of this bulb planting feast is planting crocus bulbs in the lawn. The addition to the props now is a bigger shovel than the one that I used in the first areas and in the containers. This is a first for me, so no idea if this will work or not. If it does, I do want bulbs all over the lawn, because that will be so beautiful, lovely, and a fresh color for spring. I also added some stakes to mark the area of the crocus bulbs, just to make sure we know where they are planted and to be careful since the grass is also fragile in those new areas. Not sure if this is a good method, but it seemed like the easiest to me. Just try and flip over the grass so that I can plant the bulbs underneath them. Since I had 6 bags of crocus bulb, I made 6 holes in the grass. Now we wait for spring. Patiently, we wait. Thank you for watching. Bye everyone. Dag allemaal.